Here's another question from our interview with Brandon Spencer-Hartle of the City of Portland. Presented by your Eastmoreland neighbors, bringing you the facts you need and deserve.
We could act on that once it's designated, assuming that was the outcome.
Okay. Maybe you could tell folks what the current status of the Eastmoreland Historic District process is. It's had quite the tail. Where do we sit now?
Yeah, good question. I'm going to answer that in two ways. One, I'll answer that in terms of the process to create a National Register district. But two, I'm also going to talk about the changes in the regulatory structure that might come with that district. So we go back in the Wayback Machine 6 years ago. The effort was initiated not from the City of Portland, but within the neighborhood to create a National Register district in Eastmoreland. At that time, the city had a approach to these National Register listings that automatically would apply both demolition and design protections upon a district's listing in the National Register. So this effort started long enough ago that while the nomination has been in progress, the regulatory and policy environment in which the conversation is happening has been changing. And unlike land use reviews or unlike other types of permitting processes, it's the date on which a district is listed that the regulations would take effect. And so one of the things that has evolved, and I hope we can talk about it a little bit more, is that the National Register no longer means what it meant in terms of regulations at the time that the nomination was first submitted way back about 6 years ago. Where the nomination is at, as I understand it is living with the State Historic Preservation Office. There was a recent change in state administrative rules pertaining specifically to the National Register listing process in the state of Oregon. So the notification that's required, the procedures that have to be followed for the state of Oregon to forward a nomination to the National Park Service, and those clarifying changes to the state administrative rules were necessary to allow the Eastmoreland nomination to continue through the process. What we haven't heard yet is sort of the timing of when that nomination will get back into queue for process and how the State Historic Preservation Office will engage both City of Portland and property owners in Eastmoreland. And so I may be a little more in the dark than I'd like to be, but I'm waiting for the answer to that question too. But as I understand it, from the sort of procedural perspective, there is now clarity that was lacking in the form of the state administrative rules for where the process will go.
Okay.
The other big change, and maybe we could talk about it in a few minutes, is the regulatory landscape continues to shift. And so while the nomination is in progress, so too are changes in what listing in the National Register would mean.
Tell me more about that. Now's as good a time as any.
Visit our website for the full hour-long video with Brandon about how a historic district will impact Eastmoreland. That's at eastmorelandhistoricdistrict.com.